Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. I am the great and powerful mystery.
And I am Jay.
And together, we're going to talk about
Freaky Fauna Friday.
And we're going to talk about the Velvet Singer, the Velvet Fog.
The Velvet Singer? Mm-hmm. The Velvet Glove.
The Velvet Worm.
Oh, the Velvet Worm.
If anybody hasn't seen these guys, they are absolutely adorable. They're incredibly old life forms.
They're adorable?
So you imagine, like, anybody...
Adorable.
Some of the species are like pudgy, like jelly, or like gummy bear centipedes.
Okay.
Like you took this really scary looking centipede, and then you made it a gummy bear.
Okay. That's
what a lot of species look like.
Velvet worm. Oh, the Onychophoria?
Yeah.
Fora?
Otherwise known as the Onychophoria.
Oh, you said it way better than me. Way better.
I was practicing before the episode.
I'm just like, oh, there's a lot of different types.
There's 180 modern species.
Wow.
It's like I have a skit here for it. These are really reclusive animals that have changed very little in the last 500 million years.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, 500,000, 500 million?
They have been in their current-ish form for the last 500 million years.
That's pretty consistent.
They were one of the first multi-legged land animals. And if you look at their design, you kind of get that. They kind of look like if a sea slug, a jelly, or a gummy bear, and a centipede had a baby.
Are they related to the, what's that big one we talked about?
Arthropleura?
Yeah,
No.
Oh, okay.
Now, that's kind of, yeah, they are more closely related to worms, but not quite.
Okay.
These guys are so cool. But there's about 180 modern species. They can be found pretty much anywhere that's moist and dark, and all of the tropics of Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, so that's where they're kind of originated?
Yeah. There's species in Japan, Asia. I think there are species on pretty much every continent.
Okay.
But that's the big home range is New Zealand, or Australia.
Gotcha. Okay. That little corner of the globe.
Yeah. Most species are really small, less than an inch. The largest reaches, though, about 8 inches.
Okay.
And they may be related to our buddy. You remember who?
Yes, I do.
Who?
A certain cryptid?
Yeah.
Mongolian deathworm.
Yes, we think that the Mongolian deathworm may be a really big cousin of these.
Which, yeah, we covered that on our Cryptids of the Corn podcast.
These guys come in a dazzling array of colors and exhibit pretty wild and complex behaviors. These guys are insane. We'll start going through them. I have some freaky fauna facts for you.
Ooh.
Velvet worms have a hydraulic skeleton.
That sounds awesome.
These guys are so weird. Velvet worms don't have any kind of hard exoskeleton like arthropods. Instead, they have fluid-filled body cavities that are converted into a thin skin kept rigid by very pressurized internal liquids. They move by altering these fluid pressurization system in their limbs to extend and contract along their body.
Interesting.
These guys are basically made of pistons.
Yeah. I know how like hydraulic press and stuff works, so why don't we have like hydraulic built exoskeleton suits, or do we?
We do.
Okay.
There's some, especially like robots and stuff like that are all fluid, like more like this based.
Okay.
These guys have very velvety, waterproof skin. Their entire bodies are covered in small pupilla, tiny protrusions with bristles sensitive to touch and smell. Basically, it's like they're kind of like hairs, but they're not hair.
Right, yep.
And their whole body is covered with them, and they kind of smell, taste, and feel with their entire body.
Yeah.
They're made up by overlapping scales, which give the velvet worm a really, really velvety appearance. It also makes their skin completely water repellent.
That's awesome.
They're hydrophobic.
So, yeah, I'm sure we have suits and stuff made out of these too. This material.
These guys have lots of little stubby feet. Their feet are described as conical, baggy appendages. They look like literally a really fat, chunky jelly bean centipede. It's just so funny. Depending on the species, velvet worms can have between 13 and 43 pairs of feet. The feet are hollow, fluid-filled, and have no joints.
Wait, why is it an odd number? 13. Oh, yeah, 13. Oh, pairs of feet.
Yes.
Okay, I was just
pairs.
13 to 43. What an odd
range.
Really odd range.
Centipedes and millipedes, which they aren't related to, do have that same kind of phenomena.
Huh.
Depends on the species. It just depends on how many body segments you have.
Right, yeah. It's just a weird 13 or 43. I mean, it's not like...
Each little stubby foot has one claw.
Oh.
Each foot is outfitted with this hook claw that's made of chitin.
Okay, like a little nail.
Mm-hmm. Their actual name means bear claws, or claw bearers.
Claw bearers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Their scientific name. Velvet worms use their claw when they're walking on uneven terrain, smooth surfaces, and they can retract their claw into a foot cushion.
Like a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at these little freaky guys.
Velvet worms are extremely vulnerable to dehydration. Like insects, velvet worms breathe through holes along the sides of their body called trenchia. Unlike insects, though, velvet worms cannot close these holes to prevent water loss, so they easily dry out. For this reason, velvet worms spend most of their time hidden in moist areas in the soil, under rocks, and in rotting logs. They're mostly active at night and during rain events.
Makes sense.
These guys use their slime as weapons. Velvet worms ambush predators. These guys are predators. They're the cutest predators on the planet. They hunt really small invertebrates by night. They subdue their prey with squirts of sticky, quick hardening slime from a pair of glands near their heads.
It reminds me of Spider-Man's web shooters.
Yes, it looks very similar.
Yeah.
After their prey is entrapped, the velvet worm bites into it, injecting digestive slime and saliva that helps liquefy the insides for an easier snack. The slime is extremely extremely costly to make, so the velvet worm will often eat any excessive slime they produce to store up their reserves.
Okay.
At least one species is highly social, with strict dominance hierarchy. They live in groups of up to 15 individuals, ruled by a dominant female. The groups hunt together, and after a kill, that the dominant female always feeds first, followed by other females, then males, then finally the young. The social hierarchy is established and maintained during aggressive, high-ranking individuals will chase, bite, kick, and claw their subordinates. These guys have... There's one species... It's incredible. That they have... It's not like ants, to where it's like an ant colony almost acts as one organism.
Gotcha. Okay.
These guys act like a pack of wolves.
Wow. Okay.
Or pride of lions.
Gotcha. Odd for a... What would this be considered?
An invertebrate. It
is an invertebrate?
Yes, it's just a real basic one.
Okay.
And I don't mean basic as in not highly evolved. I mean basic as in they've been around.
Right.
Their order has been around forever.
Mm-hmm. It's an efficient body or plan, whatever it works. Mm-hmm. Hasn't changed in 500 million years.
Yeah, let's talk about that. But yeah, just so... You want to try to say the name of it's right there. It's the one that ends in what looks like ravioli.
Oh gosh, Europe.
Come on,
Peripetoides ravioli.
Ravioli.
Roellus.
Roellus. It just looks like ravioli.
Yeah. Okay, that's a long.
But they
difficult word.
They have a social hierarchy.
Ooh, the velvet worm hierarchy.
Mm-hmm. So velvet worms are survivors. They belong to a clade that has been around for about 500-ish million years. Fossilized marine versions of velvet worms from the Cambrian period have been found in the Burgess Shell in Canada, and that was 505 million years ago, and the Chengxing Formation in China, 520 million years ago. Velvet worms are now considered to be the close relatives of arthropods and tardigrades. So these are the branching species. They think that their descendants became arthropods and their descendants became tardigrades.
Okay. Oh, tardigrades.
Yeah, these are what some scientists believe to be pre-tardigrades. If you look at them, it makes a lot of sense. They have a lot of similarities.
You don't think it would be the other way around, though?
No.
Why not? Why don't you think tardigrades would be first and then turn into these somehow?
Because they would have lost a lot of very beneficial traits.
The tardigrades would have?
To become velvet worms. Specifically the moisture ability.
Yeah, well, true.
You got to look at literally, these guys can't close their valves to keep moisture in.
Right.
Tardigrades have an extremely developed moisture system.
The ones we know of now.
Yeah, so they wouldn't have lost that.
mean, maybe they lost that to gain web shooting ability. Like,
No.
you got to give and take.
It really limited their the ranges they can live in and stuff like that.
Well, true. Compared to tardigrades as a whole, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if like one branched out and just liked this niche, this job, and it just became that.
So So paleontologists became that they might help provide the idea of what ancestors' arthropods were like. So these were before shelled animals completely.
Right.
And tardigrades have very large, massive shells.
Am I thinking of the same thing in tardigrades as
Water
bears?
Yeah.
Oh, they have large shells? I thought they were like
they're pretty much
microscopic.
but they have shells that block solar radiation.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't think you realize how advanced a tardigrade is.
No, it just looks like a little squishy.
No, they survive the vacuum of space.
Well, I knew that.
They eat metal.
They do everything.
Yeah. So, yeah, it would make sense that they're not the first thing. They're the final version.
Okay.
They have a number of... So these guys have a number of really bizarre reproductive strategies. All velvet worms reproduce sexually.
Okay.
Except for Eurypterus immathurian.
Oh, that one. Okay.
They reproduce through parthenogenesis. They have no males of their species. So they are just pretty much produced by cloning.
So they're all females?
Yeah.
Or...
Yes.
I guess, yeah. What, how do they clone? Like, what do you mean? Like, they
just copy their own DNA in their eggs.
Oh, they birth eggs.
Mm-hmm. Or, no,
These
eggs
ones.
or live birth, depending on which species.
What about this one?
I don't know.
I just don't know how that works.
You just clone. It's the same thing Komodo dragons do, is they just produce...
In quail?
No.
Oh, chickens?
Anyways, other velvet worm species have evolved several creative ways to deliver the male sperm to the female's egg. Some species deposit their spermophores directly into the female's genital openings, although other means by which this varies a lot. Some species of male use specialized structures on their head, like snails, and other species have spikes, spines, and pits to entrap and hold sperm to transfer to the female.
So forced.
Kinda. It's really very ancient organisms.
Yeah. It's like, I'm breeding with you.
So the males of the genus Parthenopotheus just deposit their spermophores on seemingly random spots in the female's body. This stimulates a localized breakdown of their skin. The sperm can pass through their body and migrate to the ovaries, where fertilization takes place.
That's kind of weird. Glad we don't do that.
Most velvet worms give birth to live young. Female velvet worms can store sperm for many months, even years, before using to fertilize eggs. The gestation period takes up to 15 months in some species. These guys have a longer gestation period than some elephants.
That's crazy.
Most give birth to live young, although a few species do lay eggs. Young velvet worms are born fully developed, and they look like miniature versions of the adult.
That's interesting. Okay. 15 years?
Months.
Months, sorry, that's what I meant. 15 months?
Yes.
To what? To grow another
Gestate.
worm? Or just to hold on to that?
No, just gestate. From fertilization of egg till one gives birth.
From that tiny little worm? That's forever.
Yes.
That's so weird.
Freaky Fauna.
That is freaky. So these guys are like a really crazy hodgepodge of a lot of odd characteristics. What
is happening is these guys are a very ancient order.
Yeah.
And their descendants have only taken some traits and moved on. Yeah.
Which means these guys were before tardigrades.
Yes.
Okay, it's all adding up now. The velvet worm.
Yeah.
It was them and mushrooms.
Yes.
Wait, really? I was just joking.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mushroom has a 580 million old mycelial network fossil.
And these guys were 500 million? Wow. They're older than sharks.
Older than bones.
Older than trees?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sharks are older than trees.
Older than the mountains, actually.
Blowing like the breeze?
Flowing.
Yeah.
Now, these guys have survived every mass extinction on the planet.
We should write a velvet worm story. These guys they've seen everything.
And it's weird. They're always there. They're always the background characters.
Yeah.
And just like fungus. It's just like, it's weird to think about that. They're always these characters that like the whole world can have these massive meltdowns around them.
And the fungus.
And they just keep trucking.
Yeah. The velvet worm and the... Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
but you look at them and you realize like these guys can dehydrate. You look at them, they're so primitive.
Right. Yeah.
Simple biological systems. And they're like, And then you look at them and you realize, you guys survived every mass extinction on the planet.
Yeah, so they're not that bad at
including the
hanging
Great
on.
Dying.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's got to be some origin story between a velvet worm and a mushroom, like, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Like collaborating or, working together. At some point in time, they're like, all right.
Well, and these guys have a social structure.
Right, exactly.
There's a species that has a pack.
A hierarchy.
That uses the hunt, and they have a hierarchy, and then they bully their subordinates.
They probably learned it from the mushrooms.
No, mushrooms are like a coral reef.
Well, I think mushrooms can talk. Maybe, the mushrooms don't do it. Yeah, you're right. But they taught the worms, like they educated them. They had
to bully each other.
And they needed it. Mushrooms need entertainment too. Like, come on, they need their own form of entertainment. They're like,
these guys are probably older than most species of fungus.
Let's pit this
At this time,
against this one. Let's put the web slinger one against the acid throwing one and see what happens.
So, I do believe fungus was the trees at the time.
Yeah,
that was the big, the tall fungal colonies.
And then velvet worms are crawling around them or something. Were velvet worms like bigger in the past too? Do we have any, like, a lot significantly, like giants?
Yes.
Okay. Like the arthro.
No, several feet long.
Okay. Still.
The marine cousins, the marine version of velvet worms,
probably giant.
Were a lot bigger. They were active predators, and these guys were what we think kind of had the first, not true jaws, but the first set of jaw-like structure.
Okay.
More like a. You ever seen those doors that open and close, like the round circle doors where they all kind of go in? Like alien spaceships, like in TVs have them. I can't remember the name,
yeah.
Like,
I know
they look like an eye.
Yeah, and it
opens and closes with all the triangles.
The different segments that all meet in the middle.
That's their mouth.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, sounds scary. Don't want to wind your finger in the middle of that.
I mean, they also inject digestive fluid into you and let you melt,
dissolve you from inside out.
Well, I've been the great and powerful mystery.
And I've been Jay.
And this weekend, I want you to go outside, enjoy some fine weather, take a picture of the flower. Just take a picture of a flower. They're out there.
Yeah, find one. Take a picture of it.
Talk to a mushroom.
It's your task. These are your tasks for this weekend.
Wave at a cloud.
Wave at a cloud. Put your toes in the... Get some dirt under your toenails. Just dig your feet in the dirt.
I didn't say that. That's kind of weird.
That's what I want you to do. That's my task for you.
Until you get like a
piece
of glass.
Shove your toes into some
Most
dirt.
Most people are in the cities.
Well, get out of the city.
They may not have dirt.
That's the problem.
You're being very prejudiced.
You need grounded. You need grounded with Mother Earth.
I've been the great and powerful mystery.
And I've been Jay again.
Have a good weekend, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.